was intense. I think how did I feel about doing it? I mean, it was kind of strange because I mean, obviously, when you're reading the script, you can't kind of visualize it in your head. But when you're doing it in situ, I think the surroundings really helped. And whilst I was doing it, I kind of felt that, and also because you're running, you get breathless, and it just came to life for me. Yeah.
I think the environment and the run around physicality manifests itself as well in the performance.
This is a
Sort of hiking
gorgeous
up
place.
and down these hills. And,
Yeah.
so basically, this scene here, you're going to be using like jibs and stuff, and
Yes.
Jennifer going to be running and
Yeah.
jumping over things, or is there a 360 pan around her? Is there externalization of?
Yeah, I mean, there's another character, a Chinese character called Wei, and he's sort of working with Jen, but he's a different kind of character. He's not a vicious, heartless character, and he catches Lynn in a part of these woods, and he does sort of threaten her life, but she's able to sort of work on him and get under his skin and sort of make him change his mind. And so there's a sort of that thing you get in films where you get a little arc of development, and a little. It's
the golden Hollywood moment.
Yeah, golden Hollywood moment. Yeah. And it's what audiences respond to, because the classic thing about you see yourself up there on the screen, and someone's in a vulnerable position, and you hope that sometime in your life, if you're in a vulnerable position, that you will get away, and also that if you're ever in a position to potentially do harm to someone, that you will not do it, that something within you will stop you from doing it. And I think that this is what this part of the film is about.
Yeah, I think it's about her reaching out to his humanity, connecting with him as a human being for me. Because I always feel that his character is so different. It's a juxtaposition between him and Jen.
Yeah.
Jen is very brutal. It's almost as if that he's almost inhumane in a way, because you can't quite reach him, you know. But I think Jen Wei has got a heart, and I think in that very moment she kind of sees that, and she kind of appeals to his better nature, so to speak.
And of course that is really what one of the big underlying themes of the film, I'm not sure theme, but anyway, one of the big underlying ideas is that you look at people we all look at people from the outside, even people in our family, but especially we look at people who are different to us in some way. They speak a different language, they eat a different food, they have different coloured hair, they have different coloured skin, they have different religions, and we put a barrier between them. And this is sort of saying, actually, what? Look at this. This is a human being in plight. This could be you, and I think that's what, and we have a similar thing going on with the Polish part of the story. It's like two tracks and two stories, and then they kind of converge like that and cross, and there's a whole.
It's very universal.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So Jennifer, how did you get involved with the project, or how did Stephen contact you, or when you got the script and you read it, what sort of initiated it? What motivated you to?
Okay, I'll be very honest here, Stephen. I was doing a play at the time at the Young Vic, and Stephen got in touch with me via this website called Invisible Chinese, or Visible Chinese. Visible Chinese.
Yes.
Promoting all the, visible Chinese in the UK. And I have to admit, when the script arrived, I didn't really look at it, and to be honest with you, I wasn't that keen at first, because there are a couple of projects going on at the moment outside, and it's about Chinese immigrants, and I thought, oh God, no, it's a stereotypical playing an immigrant. I wasn't really interested. Now Daniel, who's playing Jen, he read it. He wasn't doing anything at the time. I told him, I got this script, and he read it, and he said to me, God, it's so good. You have got to do it, I was like, oh really? So when the show, because what happens is that when I got the script, the show was just opening in London. So I didn't have time to do it. But once the show opened, I sat down, I read it, and I thought, my God, yeah, it's really, really good. It really touched me. And it's not just about an immigrant. It's not about stereotypes. It's about someone who's three-dimensional. It's getting beneath the skin of all these people that's sort of like, these people that you don't see. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me, I just felt it appeals to me. So it's about someone who's three-dimensional, and you get to see what happens beneath all these immigrants. They're prevalent. They're everywhere in the UK at the moment. And I hate to say this, but the Daily Mail stokes up so much fear about everything. It makes me so angry, And then you get to see what lies behind it. And I thought it was a really lovely story. So I thought, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Yisu, who plays Wei, about this, because I had to be careful. I don't speak any Mandarin. I don't speak any Polish.
Oh, you surprised me.
And so I didn't want to load it with a lot of cultural references that I knew nothing about. I just wanted to get to the story, and I wanted to sort of show people in plight, show people surviving, and I wanted to sort of say, this could happen to you. You could be I've lived in different countries, so I've lived in Italy and France and Japan and Finland, and I know what it's like to be outside the main group, and there's a vulnerability there, and a kind of sort of feeling of rawness and exposure at times. Of course, the rawness and exposure can be exacerbated especially if you're in some sort of economic plight. But I wanted to kind of get at that kind of those kind of feelings and do a kind of cross-cultural thing, because Northern Ireland is changing, and it's changed beyond. It kind of sort of. I'm really glad to say it's really opened up, bringing people in that. Of course, the Chinese have been here for ages, but in a sense, they're to a lot of people in Northern Ireland, they're sort of invisible, because if you just go to get a Chinese meal, a takeaway or whatever, and that's about all the contact that you have. But now you got Poles coming in, so I thought, well, what if I take two communities which are not part of this, traditional kind of sort of Protestant Catholic divide, and tell a story which could resonate and reverberate outside Northern Ireland. And thank you for finally reading the story.
You're most welcome. I'm terribly sorry that it took a while.
I was having a conversation with you and I picked you up, and you're into filmmaking yourself, aren't you? And
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak freely.
Go ahead.
You're into filmmaking yourself, and you write and shorts and things like that. So how do you find, as an actress, and then moving into that, and how does that, the acting, and how does the having eyes on the directing and writing help the acting? Because you're on both sides now in camera.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always been an actor, you know what I'm saying? So taking the next step to be a filmmaker was a very natural progression, because that's all I ever knew. So when I came to actually producing, directing, writing and acting in my show, suddenly it's like, oh my God, suddenly I do know what these things are. It just felt like it's like you've known it all your life, and you don't need to go to a film school, for me anyway. I mean, maybe I should, but I just felt it was just natural, like breathing, It was a very natural process for me to take. And I think being an actor helps, really, in terms of writing, and I think that's why the script is so rich, because you're an actor yourself, Stephen. I think that really helps with, and also actors, I believe, inherently understand drama. And I think that really helps me, with my writing.
Yeah.
Directing wise, I think it really helps me as well, because when I'm directing my actors, I direct them the way I like to be directed, which is to make them feel safe, give them the space to kind of be free, so to just experiment, to go with it. And I think that helps in my directing, because, I mean, obviously I've worked with some directors who have not been actors, and everyone's different. They all have their different style, but I think that really helped me. So I suppose my acting background really helped to inform, what I did as a filmmaker. And what being a filmmaker helped me as an actor is that I've got so much appreciation for the crew. I can't tell you. Honestly, I have so much respect and appreciation. I can't tell you that. I mean, I've always known it before, but having been a filmmaker myself now, having produced and directed, I just think, oh my God, you know, they're the bedrock. And, you know, filmmaking is a collaborative process. And I love filmmaking because every time I do a film, it's like acquiring a new family. And it's gorgeous. You know, what's not to like about it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.